spectators still here to see the Whitsun Trophy. And
very equal start from the front row, but 70 into the lead. Pedro Mercedes Silva.
Into third place has come Oliver Bryant in 29. Sinclair is fourth, but wide onto the towards the grass of Mercedes Silva. That was hanging it out, but he's got it out through the corner very neatly, and he's in the lead going down towards Fordwood. A Padmore second, third is Bryant, fourth is Sinclair. Jay Estra in the Vidal livery. Chinook is up into fifth place ahead of Chris Drake.
Well, Padmore looking around the outside as they come to the kick before St Mary's completes the move, and he's about 4 car lengths clear, so our pole man really got it right. After a great exit speed of Fordwater, went around Mercedes Silva, and as though he was standing still, quite extraordinary. And the Chinook getting in the mix. Jay Estra at number 1, up into about 5th place, 6th place.
Former drag racer Jay Estra, who is extraordinary in this car. He puts the power down even on cold tyres, gives it absolutely everything in a straight line. He's coming up behind Tony Sinclair, and he gets all sideways, tries to squeeze through over the grass going through the kink, and it's not going to happen.
That was one of those moments where you just draw in your breath and hope he holds on. Didn't flip sideways. Luckily, Estra trying very hard indeed.
Looks like yes, the red and green car, Tony Sinclair, appears to be smoking just a little as it comes round on the hanger on the Lavender Straight. They come through, past us for the first time over this line of dust, and Estra goes up the left-hand side and blasts past Tony Sinclair like he's standing still.
You almost can't see them. It's so they're on the Carrera Panamericana or the East African Safari Rally. There's so much dust in the air. But what we can tell you is Padmore is leading from Mercedes Silva by 1.7 seconds, and Bryant is really making a move for trying in 29, trying to take second place. Won't manage it at Fordwater, but closing right in.
Yeah, and Mercedes Silva, not as experienced a racer as Ollie Bryant or Jay Estra. And
but look at Estra catch that battle for second place.
But they're bottled up behind Mercedes Silva, and Sinclair's with them.
Yeah, Sinclair's right with him. I'm checking to see if he's smoking from here. No, he isn't as he goes past. And
yes,
Chris Drake is okay, waving the flag still for McLaren, but the T70 Spiders are very much the tool to have, although no one's told Jay Estra that. Super sideways, the number 1. Chinook there as he's lost a bit of ground, got 2 sideways, put the power down. You said, Marcus, he's great at putting it down, but he put it down too soon as he came out the second part of the Lavender. So
Jay Estra never puts the power down too soon. He just gives it absolutely everything, whether the tyres are cold or warm. It's brilliant to watch. He's half the time he's sideways. Right, now goes Tony Sinclair. He's got really wide. He's caught the car, but he's lost the place. I think it's probably all in his own tyres, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Snaking, well, down the inside goes the Cooper Monaco, Chris Jolly, he's got the place, but let's see if we can get Tony Sinclair continuing. Did well to hold that slide. Jay Estra on the attack in number 1 as they go through Madrid, really pushing Ollie Bryant. Pedro Mercedes Silva in front of them, but pulling 3 seconds clear now is our race leader, Nick Padmore, pulling very well clear of the front. Now, looks like he's wiping his visor, Jay Estra there. Maybe there was oil from Tony Sinclair's car.
I think so.
But of course, at that point, coming down from Madrid, looking straight into the sun as they get to a corner that's no problem at all. Fordwater. That battle for second place. Mercedes Silva holding on. Bryant equally in third, but look at the charge from Estra behind them in the number 1. What can he do in the Chinook as they come to Lavant? Nothing this time around. Don't forget, last lap he put it 2 sideways here and lost a bit of momentum. Then he got it all back again.
Yeah, the Chinook, you can see it has a melange of Chinook and McLaren body and McLaren tail end on it. And we've got Ollie Bryant sizing up Mercedes Silva down here towards Woodcote. There's some oil, I think, coming from the back of Bryant's car. Some little wisp of smoke from somewhere around the gearbox area. That car looked after by Clive Robinson, who is ex-VDS mechanic. Yes, there is something. You might just be a little bit of overflow of the water where it got hot on the start line, of course. Padmore just going away. He's on his own. He's got a clear track. He's not bottled up behind this dark green car. I think I thought it was black before, but now see it is dark green. Mercedes Silva's 3.7 seconds. Bryant and Estra stuck in behind. They're frustrated. Drake, Sinclair back ahead of Laurie Bennett coming to show in the 65 McLaren. He's in 7th place ahead of Jolly in the Cooper. Behind Jolly, it's Beaumont and Smith. Smith in the first with the GT40s. well, there's one past Mercedes Silva. Mercedes Silva very sideways, but Ollie Bryant has managed to get away past him, and once Ollie's away, he should be able to run through.
Big shunt for number 6. I'm afraid Tony Sinclair's dropped it. He's rotated at St Mary's. He's stopped on the apex of the corner. And there you can see every panel fairly much battered on that car.
Oh, what a shame.
So he was coming back, and I guess if it was oil leaking onto his tyres that had him have the first spin at Woodcote, that's been the result down here. I didn't see the start of the incident. I could feel the impact below me on the tyre wall. Let's have a look. He's already had it long before he got to St Mary's.
Oh dear, what a blow.
Oh, Tony's shaking his head as he walks away, looking a little bit rattled.
Broken the rear suspension, and oh dear, that's going to bring out the safety car. And in fact, I wouldn't mind thinking it might be a restart.
Okay, well, just remember the interval, 3.793 seconds with Bryant moving into second place. That was Padmore's advantage. The race was very much in his pocket, but he's going to have to do it all over again. Bits and bobs have to be cleaned up, but in fact, they're mostly off the track down here at St Mary's.
Okay,
all the incident
this could well finish under a safety car, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 18 minutes to go, but a big blow. That was a great shame. Away they went from the start. Padmore was quickest away from initially. From the middle came Mercedes Silva in the dark green car. As Padmore got a little wheel spin, as did Sinclair on the left-hand side of the track. And Sinclair's car was sliding all over the place, even off the grid, as Ollie Bryant forged his way up into third place in the white number 29 car. Padmore looking initially to get round Mercedes Silva, which he did imperiously round the outside of the kink before St Mary's. But Ollie Bryant and the rest couldn't get through. There is back to live then with the safety car. We've had 4 laps.
Well, it's giving all the drivers a chance to see that in fact all the debris is off the circuit. Good to see that Tony Sinclair seems fine, frustrated obviously, but all the bits that have come off that number 6 T70 Spider sitting on the grass verge, not on the circuit.
Well, that is a big blow.
I think we'll be looking.
Drivers out okay.
Yeah, we'll be looking for a flatbed to come and take that away. It's sitting. The car is sitting just on the edge of the track. Marshall's running out now with fire extinguishers just to check, because there could well be fluid coming out of the back.
Look at the nose splitter on, or the under tray on the Super Cooper, the yellow Cooper to the left.
Low, isn't it?
Hanging low down into the road. Chris Jolly has damage under the nose of that car. He's run over some debris in all probability, or just clipped a curb there.
So the lead driver's getting their second sighting under the safety car conditions of Tony Sinclair's very battered loaded T70. It is rolling. It's being pushed by the marshals trying to get it off the circuit. It's sitting right on the apex.
It's difficult with the tracking wire drift on the back.
A good 30 degrees out, I'd suggest, and 20 out at the front. There's a Land Rover, the Everyman Land Rover, coming out of Ford Water, coming down to help take the loader stricken T70 off the circuit at St Mary's.
Yeah, leaders currently, this group of 4 cars on the back of the group. You can see the little dots of oil all over the windscreen of a couple of the cars there. Now, you can see it's underneath the Super Cooper. You see all that splitter from the car has been ripped off the left-hand side. Is that what's wedged underneath? I think it may well be, or maybe it's taken the edge of the floor with it. It's only a bit of fiberglass. I don't think it's anything terribly worrisome, other than it's going to compromise the aerodynamic of that car. Car looked after by Red Sport down in Shaftesbury. Steve Farthing's concerned. To turn that one around, I'm sure, for Spa next weekend. Big 6 hours meeting. So the top 4 are just coming into the sight at the back of the picture there. So they've done 6 laps now.
Yep, and that's where we pick them up, coming out of Fordwater, still straight in the face of the drivers as they head to one of the most crucial and fastest corners on the circuit, but they've been driving superbly well so far, and certainly for race leader Nick Padmore, he was edging clear. It was 3.7 seconds. Oh gosh, the Land Rover's got Tony Sinclair's T70 across the track onto the grass, and that will be out of the way very soon indeed. The bodywork is battered at the back and it's dragging on the grass, but the good thing is the car is now out of the way, and again the safety car just edges past as the battered red and green Lola is put behind the dummy commentary position. I'm
wondering what's going to happen now, whether they're going to start waving the peloton through from behind the safety car so that the leader is back behind them. There's no obligation to, but this has got the top 4 running a lap ahead of the rest, essentially. May make no difference to the result of the race, but at the end of the day, it would be nice for them all to start from base 0 again.
Yes, it would otherwise become a little bit potentially like a video game with the 4 fastest cars, and very much the fastest cars, starting from the tail of the field. And there you can see on the screen, there is Nick Padmore, 4th car from the back of the whole pack, but he is the race leader.
Yeah, Padmore had that lead of towards 4 seconds. And yes, here we go. There's the Aston Martin driver waving them through, and you rely on radio contact with race control to make sure that it's the number 14 car, Nick Padmore, who is behind him. Of course, what they then need to do is to get a bit of a move on so that they catch the rest of the pack. Otherwise, in the remaining 13 minutes, they might waste a couple of minutes just trying to catch. Yes, they are getting the move on. 63 is the Hamill, the car that Tony Sinclair had that accident. He spent the last month solidly rebuilding. The car was crashed here 4 or 5 years ago by Chris Childs, I think. Car made by Ed Hamill in the USA. Very scary picture of Ed Hamill in one of his Hamills when he had a little tiny flimsy roll hoop running along upside down, parallel to the track. Well, there you go. Leader picked up now by the safety car. Nick Padmore, who does a lot of driver training and tuition mentoring.
So while he and the 3 cars that are behind him are held up behind the safety car, Chris Drake is trying his best to catch up. There'll be no overtaking in the order behind the safety. Well, actually, there seems to be some now, but well, anyhow, there we know. We know our top 4. We know that Chris Drake is doing his best. There we are in the black McLaren to get towards their tails. Looking across from my commentary position at St Mary's, trying to see where the safety car is. Just coming out of Madgwick now. There's your guide. And there are the top 4. Nick Padmore, Ollie Bryant, Pedro Mercedes Silva, and the white car with the thin red stripes of Jay Estra. Marshall Bailey getting a move on as he too tries to catch up.
It's a car that was raced extensively in New Zealand in its day by Jim Boyd and others. A car that was whacked by the Stanton Corvette at Wigram, the super fast airfield circuit near Christchurch in its day. Gorgeous car with the Cambridge cigarette stripes all over it.
Number 3 was Andrew Waring, and the other of the Chinooks, silver with red trim.
And there's Sean Lynn in the pale blue GT40 Tessie, in which he's won the Spa 6 Hours. 2 times, in fact.
So the 2 McLaren M1s chasing round. We've got Chris Drake and then behind Laurie Bennett. And they're doing their best to get onto the tail of the group. In fact, they're only about 100 metres behind Jay Estra. They've done a good job. Laurie
Bennett's a really feisty competitor, a great guy. He and his partner Jan, real enthusiasts. And they race a couple of cars back at home, a couple of Elfins made by the late Gary Cooper down Adelaide Way. And there's a great Elfin museum
just
near
note,
Melbourne.
Sorry, Marcus, just noticed Michael O'Shea's Cooper Monaco, the Maserati engine one, sporting a little bit of a biff on one of its flanks.
That's not unusual. I've been to the workshop several times recently, and it got biff once in a trailer going to the workshop.
Ah.
So the body shop men in Shaftesbury will be on call, I'm sure.
I'll drive past them on Monday morning and have a look.
Well, Ren Cassicks over at Donhead St Mary. You should drop in.
well, might be a bit rude, really, a bit cheeky. So Nick Padmore leading the way, waiting for the restart, looking for the lights to be out and the Aston Martin safety car to pull out of the way. It should have done so. Wave yellow flag still down at the chicane, though. Padmore bunching them up.
Yes, he wants to bunch them up and then make his escape, because he'd like to have that gap back again, wouldn't he?
Certainly would, and Ollie Bryant seemed to guess the attack as well in 29, trying to make the move, but Padmore leading comfortably as they go over the start finish line. Estra dropped quite comprehensively in 4th place.
Yeah, interesting. I thought he would have been very fast away. Andrew Beaumont with the Nicky Vinegaroon McLaren, ex-low for Watson car.
Yeah, the silver Ford GT40 in the background there. That's Andrew Smith, the Scuderia Bear. I presume it has the little bear figurine in the cockpit.
It does. That's a little. That's basically a reconstruction around the original engine and gearbox, and one or two other bits of the car that raced and was crashed, I think, at Le Mans in a period. His brakes puffing something. Yes, he's got brake smoke coming out of that car, the GT40.
Yeah, well, it certainly looks pretty tidy as it goes down to Lavin, taking a little look at the inside of Andrew Beaumont, but Andrew Smith drops back behind, discretion the better part of valour. But the interesting thing at the moment is that Padmore is not, or when he came past St Mary's, was not escaping by much from Ollie Bryant. And there it is, half a second between them, I reckon, as they come down towards the end of the lap. Mercedes Silva still ahead of Estra, but Estra having to catch up. He was very slow away on the restart.
That's right, and Ollie Bryant, with all his knowledge of this circuit under racing conditions, he's raced so many different cars here over the years, including that little Lotus Red van that last season I think it probably was. And through the couplet, here's Andrew Smith trying to attack Andrew Beaumont, and ahead of them the yellow-helmeted Chris Jolly in the Cooper Chevrolet.
Yeah, don't believe your timing screens. Beaumont's dropping down the order. Now he's been put back into 8th place of Andrew Smith. So 23 Ford GT40, the best place of the GT40s. Silver with the red, white, and blue stripe up the bonnet. Again, he attacks, but again, no change. Out of the front of the race, Ollie Bryant can't quite hold on to Nick Padmore, however, with this great little scrap over 8th place, still advantage to Beaumont ahead of Smith.
Yeah, I think second of the GT40s is that of Joaquin Folk Roussignol, number 7, the Scuderia Montjuic car, the dark blue car that won in Spain in period. More 9 laps down, remains 0.6 clear.
Estra's as close as he's been to Mercedes Silva, right up the chuff of the Lola T70 Spider as they get down to the braking area, or the sliding area, if you will, at Woodcote. This is the battle for 3rd place, because Bryant's escaped ahead of them and Padmore has escaped even more so in the lead of the race. 0.67 of a second in the clear last time round, 1.1 this time for race leader Padmore.
Yes, that's more or less doubled the advantage. A couple of laps ago, Estra down into the 21s, proving his personal best. It's a nice little battle between the open McLaren of Andrew Beaumont, number 96, 23, which is Andrew Smith. Smith trying really hard to get past the McLaren.
It's a funny racing day for Andrew Smith. He's competing in 5 events here at the Goodwood Revival, but I think the last time he was on the track, he was in a back-marking Mini.
Absolutely.
Oh, Estra has just got through into 3rd place ahead of Mercedes Silva at my feet at St Mary's. So there it is at Lavance, the white number 1 Chinook ahead of the dark green Mercedes Silva Lola T70. So it's no longer no longer T70s 1, 2 and 3. They're 1, 2 and 4.
Can Mercedes Silva respond? I suspect he probably can't live with the speed of the engine in Estra's car. Estra locks a brake though at the far end down at Woodcote corner. Yes, he snuck out of the toe, flicked the Chinook up over the curbs.
Did well to manage to turn in. He was very much off the racing line going to St Mary's, and Mercedes Silva, number 70, Lola T70, right under the rear wing of the Chinook of Jay Estra, but I think it's job done. Or is it? 11.5 minutes remaining. Can Mercedes Silva in the T70 Spider get back up into 3rd place?
And Bryant has put the personal best in a 21.448 and got back within a second of leader Nick Padmore in 14. Padmore and Bryant, Estra, Mercedes Silva, Drake, Bennett, Jolly.
Well, that battle over 8th place between Beaumont and Smith continues to rage, and Rod Jolly probably doesn't dare look in his mirrors, because Andrew Smith, the Scottish property developer, looking left, he's looking right. This time he's trying to go up a different line as they come down to the Kink before St Mary's. He's right under the rear wing.
Yeah, he's using those brakes really hard and having to.
Certainly is. Puffing smoke away, and he's got a better exit speed from St Mary's. Can he make it stick? But again, another great battle to look for. Oh, big switch from Jay Estra, trying to get the power down, trying to kink to the right part of the circuit.
Oh, and Sean Lynn's off. Sean Lynn's off at the side of the circuit in Tessie.
Looking to identify where that is, Marcus. I'm afraid I can't see it from where I am. Estra still hangs on to 3rd place, and Mercedes Silva, who's really come on great guns over the last few years, right under the rear wing of the Chinook. And can he make it? He's much closer as they accelerate out of the start-finish straight. Well, alongside fleetingly, and the power then delivered properly by Estra's Chinook.
Yes, you're not going to win the drag race against that. Where you will get it is when it goes sideways coming. It's Madrick, isn't it? It's up at Madrick that Sean Lynn's plonked the tyre wall. He's out of the car. He's up with the marshals on the bank, but the car looking pretty scruffy down the side. What's happened? Here we go. Look for the blue GT40. Just jumped out of line, yeah. But that's not done it a power of good, I wouldn't have said.
Well, the lead battle is between Padmore and Bryant, just under 0.6 of a second. There's far less of that. There's about a third of that, 0.2 of a second on the start-finish line. Mercedes Silva behind.
Red flag,
Estra.
red flag. The race has been stopped, ladies and gentlemen, because of the GT40 in the wall at the first corner. Really can't continue to race with it sitting there, and no time to recover it. So they'll wind the result back a lap. And is that going to unseat Estra? I wonder. He was ahead through.
No, he's been ahead long enough.
Yes, he went ahead on lap 11. The flag was put out before the leaders had finished 13, so 12 to 11, yeah, yes it will be. Estra should keep 3rd place. Well, with 9 minutes to go on the clock. Oh, and there's another problem in the chicane. Howard Redhouse has walloped the polystyrene. He's just left a mess, so the polystyrene hasn't done much damage to anything else, but he went round there. And our top 3 will be 14 Nick Padmore, 29 Ollie Bryant, and 1 Jay Estra. We'll wait for the officials to actually sort that one out. And there are our top 2, number 14, Team Surtees Lola of Nick Padmore. Could have seen some action in that race, both from that in-car camera and peripherally.